Hello, everyone. I think some of you have probably seen me here at the last couple of Aspen gatherings, but if you haven't seen me yet or heard from me on a ticket or whatever, my name is Morgan and I'm on the Aspen team as an implementation specialist. So I'm going to be leading things today. Um, and so Cal was awesome enough to link the agenda in the chat. Um, do we usually share that on our screen or do we just let everyone do their own thing?
Normally let people do their own thing, but
Okay, all right. We're all adults here. We can all
yeah.
open the agenda. It's all good. Okay. I mean, there'd better just be adults here. If there's any children, get out. This is going to be
Depends on
boring
the
for you.
day.
All right, so first on the agenda in new business is the app. So I'm going to, I guess, turn to Mark with updates or Kirsten.
Yes, I can talk about it or we can both talk about it. So um, we have our app store approval for both we are in the app store for both Android and Apple. We the app is not in the app store, but we have Bywater is in the app store. Um, so we're in the process of getting things uploaded, making sure to get everything tested so that um, we can have successful like test launch to actual everybody. Um, and then once we do that, we also set up a site that will allow us to more easily tell who's using the app, who's not using the app, who's like using their own app. Um, so we've got a lot of kind of the background stuff doing, and things should look like they're moving a lot faster now. But Kirsten's going to be dedicating most of her time to getting the app rolled out, and we'll be rolling out lots of new features as soon as we can get all of the hard work of getting it into the app store done. But anything else you want to say on that, Kirsten? Or
Nope. Yeah, I think you got it all.
yeah. So we're excited to be moving on to the next phase of actual uploaded live apps. So, but any questions on that? We still have the um, list of things that people want in the app linked in the developer or in the app channel of Slack. So feel free to go through and put anything you want in there. And yeah, we should start seeing more movement soon, or more visible movement. So there's been stuff going on behind the scenes. I see a ta-da. But that's it.
Ooh, Era says exciting. Ooh, Cal has linked and ideas for the app document in the chat. So thank you, Cal. Cool. All right. I'm so excited for the app. I cannot wait to
Yeah.
play around with it. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Um, all right. Well, if there are no other questions or comments about the app, um, then next on the agenda is the latest Aspen release of 21.09 and 21.10 is looming in the future. Mark, do you have anything
Yeah.
you want to say
So
about that?
I guess 2109 released a week and a half ago now, 2 weeks ago now, 2 weeks ago. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, time flies. We will be then releasing 21.10 next week. So
Wow.
yeah, it all goes quick. So we've got a lot of good things in this. So um, big things. We've got ProPay integration should be um, done by then. We just like 10 minutes ago completed coding on that. So that should be ready to go. We'll be rolling into the same kind of phase we are with Comprise with is testing with actual library credentials and that kind of thing, which depending on the vendor can be an issue. Um, Also some good account integration things. So limiting like how far out you can let people freeze holds, some more display of like barcodes for checked out items, looking for other highlights, a bunch of Polaris things, which will be good. Can sort now by like total number of holds within search results. And then one thing I think is going to be really cool, and I'm curious to see how people use it, is being able to limit what pages and what menu links are visible. So in Web Builder, being able to limit pages and menu links based off patron type. So one of the things people could do would be to create like a staff intranet. So really excited to see how people use some of that functionality. So yeah, those are the big things coming. We'll have, let's see, Cal, the Aspen updates in an instance is what, next Tuesday probably. So, or soon. She's checking.
Yes, we have it, I think tentatively or now officially, next Tuesday. We had it at 12 p.m. Eastern, but I will go ahead and get something together for that and send that out if that still sounds like a plan.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
On our agenda is the Bywater website. So if for those who were here last time, we had a really good discussion about our help resources and just the website in general. And you all gave really good feedback. And that kind of like kicked us a little bit, like, hey, these are great ideas. And it's something that, some of us had been bouncing around for a while anyway, but that kind of gave us the drive to really get something going. So we wanted to thank you so much for your feedback. It was really useful. And because of your feedback, and maybe at this, I will share my screen really quick. So Cal, the amazing Cal, restructured the aspen.bywatersolutions.com site. So hopefully this will make it a lot easier to get to some of the resources that you might be looking for at least when it's concerning Aspen. So as we scroll through here, we kind of categorized a lot of the resources by, the type of task or goal it is. So administrative setup things, e-content integration, how to promote your resources, things that relate to the user experience. And then we have the Aspen community links and the Aspen development down here. And some of these things, I think when you click on them, there could be multiple different resources. So I think if I click browse categories, you have all these different types of browse category resources. So I think Cal did a really great job of reorganizing all this stuff that hopefully makes it easier to find and makes more sense to you. In addition, in the background, we are working on setting up a new help center that will, I think we're still working out whether it's going to be its own site or if it's going to be kind of automatically integrated into each Aspen installation. We're not quite sure yet, but we're basically still working on revamping all of that stuff. And going back to the agenda, the Bywater website will be getting an overhaul as well. So we definitely heard you about the website, and so stay tuned. We don't have a definitive launch date or anything, but sometime in the fall of, was it this year? Fall 2021? Yeah, that's so exciting. So sometimes this fall. So now, in addition to like Halloween or whatever, you can get excited about the Bywater website. Yay! So we hope that you like some of the changes so far and have something to look forward to with a new website.
Can I just add that the aspen.bywatersolutions.com is not finished? Like some of those you might click into and there might not be content yet, but we're definitely actively working on it. It should be done soon.
Yeah, but I think it's like, I just love what you've done with it so far. Like, I think it makes really good sense.
Thanks.
So, any questions or comments or anything about the resources or the website or anything? And you're always welcome to drop stuff in the chat if you don't want to talk. I totally understand that too. But otherwise, maybe there's just not much to discuss there. It is what it is. But I'm hoping for the next item on our agenda. Oh, thank you, Cal. Cal linked the Aspen.Biowater Solutions in the chat. So you don't even have to type anything. You just click on it. Super easy. Up next, we wanted to talk about the web builder this time. My first question to everyone here is, are you using the web builder? And if so, how are you using it? I know some of our partners use Aspen to build out like their entire website. Some people, maybe they haven't really used it at all, but who's using it and what are you using it for? Chanel says no. Well, you're still in implementation, Chanel. That's gonna come. You're gonna be so good at the web builder. I cannot wait to show you that next week. Who else here is using the web builder functionality? No one here is using the web builder.
We are not using web builder, but if we can limit who can see what or who can do what by patron type, we may start using it for specific patron types, just basically internal documentation and maybe forms. I don't know if you guys can do forms yet, but
Yeah.
We had some ideas about that, but it really hinged on who could see what.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, well, with some of these permission things Mark's working on, it sounds like that might be useful. And the web builder does have a custom form section. So yeah, if you need help, figuring that part out, just let us know or hit up those resources on the website or submit a ticket or email us. So that's there, so we can help you out with that. Let's see, Tara says, I think our members will be really excited about it, but we aren't making it available until we're past the discovery rollout. Totally fair. Yeah, and then Click says, we use it for a few of our libraries. That's awesome, Lauren. Lauren, for the libraries that are using it, what are they using it for?
Hey, so we have a couple of our libraries are using it for different things. We have Burlington, who is using it so that their landing page can be basically their library website, because they're stuck with a town library website, which doesn't work great for them. So they're using that. So we kind of took that idea from Uinta, I think. So we're using that for them. I know one of our libraries has a Black History collection, so they have a link on there for that. And then our Colorado Parks and Wildlife, they have made a form, I think, which is kind of like suggestions for articles and stuff like that. And gosh, they're using it for some other stuff too. I can't remember right now, but yeah.
That's all really awesome. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, in case you didn't know, you can use Aspen for like your whole website. If you've been through implementations recently, or if you're going through it now, we do bring up Uinta's website a lot because they did build out like their whole website. And I was just talking to a newer partner today who is really excited about the web builder because they are one of those libraries that has to use like their government county website. And a lot of those are not super amazing. Like I use Civic Plus in the past, and I know there's other ones out there, but they're just limited in their ability to really do the stuff that you want to do as a library. Like they might be okay for like government stuff, but you know, it's not super conducive to like all the things that libraries have to offer. Let's see here. So Kristen Martinez says, we've often lamented not having an intranet. If we could use it for that, that would be wonderful. That is really good feedback to know. I'm going to come back to that in a second. Yeah, Cal says, I worked at a system where we were always struggling with intranet and sharing resources among staff. I'm so excited for Aspen to be able to solve that problem. Me too. Let's see, Jonathan says, Arlington has a large WordPress site for public news and info and contact forms. We also use SpringShare, LibGuide, LibCal, and we have a separate intranet site. So we haven't played with WebBuilder yet, but I'm impressed with the potential. Yeah, I think that, I mean, the only intranet I personally have experience with is SharePoint. And that was kind of a big convoluted monster, at least from my perspective. So yeah, who else here thinks that they might or would be interested in using the web builder for something like a staff intranet or staff communication?
I wasn't thinking about it that way, but that is interesting. We are, you know, an institution that has a lot of tentacles, you know, including, you know, a SharePoint intranet. So that is, you know, admin sort of hybridly between the library and the city IT. So, you know, our mileage may vary, but we were thinking about ways that we could use Aspen for like display libraries. And we were either thinking in terms of maybe just like browse categories, like just UI enhancement to browse categories or web builder, because we have software that does this, that will show book lists that are curated by staff, but it's kind of buggy. But we're like, wow, it's like what we could do with browse categories in Aspen, that would be amazing. Or what things that we could do with web builder, that would be really great too, especially if staff could control it themselves, like at their location, at their branch, you know, they just log in and they change what they want, and then boom, it's on the wall at their branch. So we're thinking about it in that way too.
So you're looking for, oh, go ahead, Mark.
Oh, no, I was just, were you thinking browse categories based off patron type as well?
Well, there are two things here. Well, like I said, we weren't sure what we would use for this, but one of the ideas was we could use Aspen browse categories, or we could use web builder. And currently we don't even have web builder module turned on, right? In Nashville, but we kick the tires on it and see what we could, you know, make it do. In that case, it would just be, I'm not sure what the permissions would need to be. In the other case, we have custom functionality built in to Aspen for school librarians. And this is what we were going to use Web Builder for. And my colleague who most directly interacts with school librarians and whose idea it was to use Web Builder is not on this call, but it was their idea to you know, turn on Web Builder and have pages be inside Aspen for school librarians to use. And it would work great, of course, because boom, you already have an account, you're already signed in anyway, and it's right there. So.
Hey, Brian, could you speak a little bit as to what exactly you're wanting to provide via Web Builder for the school librarians?
I think because we have this, like we have some tools and features that I think are unique to Nashville, like for school librarians to deal with their holds and whatnot. I believe it was basically documentation for how to use those features. Like we wanted that to be built in, like right on top. Like you click on a thing, this is how you get like certain reports that school librarians use for their school. Right at the top, there would be a link of this is how this works. And it would be documentation that we would create ourselves via Web Builder. I believe that's what we were thinking.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I really like that use for it. Like maybe not a full intranet, but at least kind of resource pages for staff internally. I think that's awesome. Excellent ideas. Yeah, so this is just making me even more excited to get like those different permissions and things for the web builder. I love that. Let's go back to the chat. Chanel commented, we have a pretty heavily customized Drupal site. Is it Drupal or Drupal?
Drupal.
Ah.
Drupal.
That sounds less friendly to me now. It's like Drupal somehow. Oh well, Drupal, that's a fun word too. Just a learning thing. So we have a customized Drupal site, so I don't see us using Web Builder for the intranet. That's fair. Kara says we have a public-facing site for the consortium that shows catalog help, a list of member libraries and contact info. It would be cool to use Web Builder to replace the site potentially. Oh yeah, like you could absolutely use Web Builder for that. And I know that some of the sites do. I mean, we have a lot of creative uses for the Web Builder, both, well, I guess for now it is, you know, public facing stuff, but it'll be even cooler to see what people come up with if it's just, you know, staff only thing. I think that would be amazing. Let's see. So I guess the next question, and I don't know if this has already been answered in a way through our discussion, but if you're not using the web builder yet, why not? Like, maybe it's because you don't remember anything from the training and you're like, I don't even know where to start anymore. Or you're just like, I don't really need pages because we already have a website. I mean, whatever it is, just let us know. Not enough free time, sad face. I'm sorry, Kristen. I totally know how that is. I think all librarians can relate.
Yeah, our community relations, they handle our website, so we couldn't really use the web builder, but if we could use it for like an intranet, we do have a portal for staff, but if we could use if it had all the same features as the portal, we might be able to get rid of that and save us some money and just focus on using the web builder, but not there yet. So
Yeah. Thank you for your feedback. That just reminded me, like, I don't know, an idea popped in my head. Like, even if you're not using a full intranet, if you have a website externally, you could even use it as just an internal staff page with like Aspen tips or, you know, shortcuts or things that staff can reference. That would be a cool use for it. Chanel says, I'm always wary of CMSs because I like having easy HTML/CSS access. Which, I mean,
It's
well,
don't tell anybody, but you have a lot. It's just hidden.
Yeah, it's just, I really like having my own customized IDE for,
Yep.
you know, so having to like, oh, I'm in this other environment where the rules are different and, you know.
Yeah.
yeah. Chanel doesn't like to be held back by rules. We love that about her. Well, I feel like it's okay to say this. I have been pushing to get the HTML editor in Aspen upgraded someday. But I think right now we're using CK editor version 3 point something. But there could be more options for those who want to use HTML editor in the web builder in the future.
Yeah, and we're always trying to kind of like strike the balance between keeping it easy and like non-intimidating and also powerful. So like any of those ideas, like would people rather like more power or less power or medium power or all the power but hide it all?
Well, I definitely see the balance there because if it's me working on it, I want to have as much control as possible. I don't, you know, it's like the Mac. You use the Mac, or at least not these days, but years ago when you used the Mac, you just had to accept what it gave you because it didn't give you under the hood type control. But on the flip side, if one of our libraries is building out web pages, it's got to be as easy as possible. And even like CK Editor, because we have Drupal with CK Editor, embedded in it. And even that is too difficult for many of them.
I mean, I do appreciate that. Oh, sorry, Daniel, are you going to talk?
I have very bad timing. You gotta excuse me, but I was gonna say, would it be possible to add like, um, depending on how much access or how powerful the tool is, depending on what kind of status the person has in discovery. So like, Drupal access at the highest level and maybe just HTML access at the lower level.
Yeah, we could do like basically so each person could kind of choose what kind of editor they wanted to use. Yeah, the complexity with that is just figuring out like if somebody who doesn't want a lot of permissions edits it and then Chanel edits it, like making sure that when somebody else goes back that doesn't have as much permissions, we're not losing a bunch of information. But yeah, I think we could definitely like let people say, I would like the easy interface, or I would like the hard interface. Or, I mean, complete interface, powerful.
Like picking what mode you want to play on in a video game. Like,
yeah.
What level do you want your website under?
Yeah.
I want extreme mode.
Yeah, I think for us having some kind of permissions like Chanel is saying, just because I think our library, the libraries that we have that would use Web Builder instead of, I know a lot of them have kind of their own like pretty souped up Drupal or WordPress or other sites. So if they're using Web Builder, they're probably the libraries that are kind of least capable of managing all those features. And I'd want to make it as easy for them and that they could, play around and not crash anything and feel safe.
And maybe that's stuff that we add to the permissionings as well. So we could say, you are allowed up to this level. If you want to further restrict yourself, great.
But I'm hearing that there's definitely a desire for both ends of the spectrum, like people who, I like my easy peasy lemon squeezy web builder, and then there's people who are like, more power. So I think those are some really important, things to consider as we keep developing the web builder. And going back to Kristen's point, which makes me sad, the not enough free time. That just makes me think of like what can we build into the web builder to make it even like take less time, so that could be something as like maybe templates, like pre-made templates in the web builder instead of having to build all the cells and the rows by scratch or whatever. So I think, do you think that that would be useful for time saving and for the people who like easy mode?
I think that'd probably be really helpful for some of our libraries who are a little too intimidated to even do it right now. So I think that would be helpful.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, Mark has nothing but free time, so I'm sure he'll get right on that. I'm kidding. No, I mean, like, these are really great ideas that you had me at template houses. I think that, obviously Aspen is Aspen, but I think that the web builder has the potential to make it just like, that's a part of what makes Aspen special, in addition to it being like amazing at searches and relevancy and all that. But I just, since I've been living in the web builder a lot recently, revamping the help center, I just really wanted to hear what everyone thought about it. So thank you for the feedback. Let's see. I guess before we move on, wait, are these supposed to take a whole hour or 45 minutes? Or how much time?
We can go a whole hour.
A whole hour. Okay. I mean, we don't have to be here if we run out of things. We don't, but we'll keep chugging along. All right. So are there any features that we didn't talk about that maybe you would like to see, like wish list type things for the web builder? For those who are using it. Or anything you don't like about it. You won't be offended. All right. No thoughts there, huh? Okay. Well, if you ever do, have an idea for something you want to see in the web builder. Oh, awesome. Thanks for stopping in, Christopher. See you next time. Yeah, if you ever have an idea of something you want to see in the web builder, or something that you're like, why is this like this? Just reach out to us, because we're always open to everything. And it looks like we talked about the intranet a lot already, so let's move on to the next topic, which is talking to your patrons about Aspen Discovery, which is, well, I think we're thinking about it for next week's Aspen Weekly. So I think this is a good way to get ideas for that. Maybe we can share some of your ideas in next week's Aspen Weekly. So this is kind of a big question. How did you roll out Aspen to your patrons? What are some of the resources or trainings or anything? How did you introduce patrons to Aspen? And again, you can use the chat, or you can just start talking.
So I believe that we put an alert on the top of our website and the catalog we were using before that said, hey, the catalog is going to change. And then we also had a blog post about this, and maybe it's like social media is one of the, we usually use the blog to create content that we can then share on social media. And that's how we did it. I don't know if that included emails to patrons, but for sure, we put it on our website and at the top of the catalog that we were using before and said, hey, this change is coming. And these are the cool new things that are going to be available in the new catalog or Aspen.
Okay, so I'm hearing like preparation was a lot of that process, like getting people mentally and emotionally prepared for a new catalog. When you were talking about the features, did you make any videos or post any screenshots or anything of how it was going to look? Or
we were a Pica library, so it's very similar. Right?
okay.
So actually our transition was not as fast as we wanted it to be, so it was probably more different than what we wanted it to be, but it was similar enough that we were just like, hey, this is going to change. These are the new features. So really, fundamentally, I think that patrons had the same experience. Look and feel was mostly the same when they logged in.
Well, that's kind of fortunate. So kind of similar but better. That's probably as good as it can get. So who else here? I know there's some other people here who are live now. So how did you introduce Aspen to your patrons?
We're sort of live. And yeah, I'm at the consortia level, obviously, so I didn't do some of the ground stuff, but I can share what some of our libraries did that I thought was good. So we did have the kind of beta link is what we called Aspen, to try out the beta catalog. So the libraries posted that to their websites for And we still have our old catalog running. So there was sort of a switch at a certain point. They're like, hey, try out the new catalog, and then switch their search boxes to point to Aspen instead as the primary catalog. So you've kind of been able to see, the traffic like go up on Aspen and kind of tank on our other, at least for those libraries on our other catalogs. So I think that's been a helpful to ease the transition maybe a little bit. I know a lot of them have, set up some methods to gather feedback. We did like a survey during the kind of beta period, but like at the consortia level, and looked at all that stuff. But I know the libraries can have some feedback forms for patrons to give comments. And then one of our libraries did, I thought this was a good idea. They kind of printed out like little quick start guides to put by the OPACs, which I think is nice. To probably the people coming into the library appreciated, when they see something new, have a little guide. So
That sounds
there's
awesome.
probably other things that they did that I don't know about, but
So like
that's
a
what I
little quick start guide. Have any of us seen this on the Aspen team?
I don't know, but I can ask that library if they mind if I share it with you. I'm sure they would not mind.
We would love to see it. We would love to see that, because we're trying to think of ways. We were just talking at our stand up today about like what can we offer to people, for resources that you can hand out to your patrons. But obviously there is no just one Aspen. We want it to be customized to what they're actually going to see based on your site. So like even just having something like a template where people could plug in like screenshots from their own site or something. But yeah, we would love to see that quick start guide. Thank you, Kara.
I will ask, just check with them and see if there's maybe a more recent version also than what I have.
Cool.
And pass it along.
Hey, thank you. All right. Anyone else have any particular things they did when they rolled out to patrons? Let's see. Jonathan says, Arlington's story is similar to Nashville. We made a bigger public splash to introduce pica, and we tried to make the pica to Aspen transition more seamless for patrons. Let's see what these links are. Ooh. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, if you click the links that Jonathan put in the chat, the first one I clicked was like they had a little come meet the new catalog orientation session. So in their auditorium, that's awesome. People come and ask questions about the new catalog. Let's see what the second one is. New catalog tips and tricks. Oh, so that's just a handy little, like a quick little tour of different ways to search the catalog and import your old lists. That's super handy. And then the last one is tips and tricks part 2. How to read the search results. Those are all really great resources. Yeah, when I had to help migrate like our library system, the one I used to work for, we switched, I think it was from Enterprise to Bibliocommons, which I'm sorry I said their names out loud in an Aspen meeting, but yeah, it was hard to, patrons, when there's change, like a new catalog, they're always gonna, there's always gonna be people who are confused. So having these resources available, I think, is a really good idea to help them educate themselves and know what's changed. Has anyone had, let me see what else is on the agenda. Okay, yeah, Cal, and I guess we all want to know, specifically, did you use handouts? So if it sounds like some of you have, like Tara mentioned, the quick start guides. Has anyone else used any bookmarks or handouts, flyers, anything physical that you gave out or had available for patrons after you went live? Let's see, Jonathan also says, we tried to emphasize all of the great new features to ease the pain of relearning the catalog system. Yeah, I totally agree. Like, just focus on all the cool stuff that they can do. Like, the pain points are really when, it's the difference between what people are used to doing and, how to do it in the new way. So as long as you can educate them how to get to where they need to go, which is in Aspen is thankfully pretty easy. And that can help alleviate a lot of that. Anyone else use handouts? Might be a weird time to ask that because if you went live during the like pandemic time, then maybe you weren't handing out a lot of paper. But yeah, Brian says we did not use handouts. How come you didn't use handouts, Brian? Was it just because it was so similar to like what you had already been using?
That's my guess. And I think in the past, we have not had the best luck with handouts for technology related things, right? They get dated really fast. They cost money and time to print, and then they gather dust.
Yeah.
I think that's mostly where we were. I'll say I'm totally shooting from the hip. I know that we didn't use handouts.
Yeah. No, I feel you though, because I mean, yeah, technology does change a lot. So, I mean, I remember when we used to have Overdrive handouts to, hand out to people at the desk, and we were constantly, I feel like we had to constantly reprint them because things were changing like a lot. So I totally get that. Are there any that you would find useful? And this question goes to anybody. Any resources that you wish that you had from Aspen?
I wished I had an install script and I got it. so that's a little inside baseball, but so thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I mean, if we did have resources available, like bookmarks or flyers or whatever, do you think anyone would use it? Would you want that kind of thing available?
I think if there were bookmarks or flyers that were kind of easily customizable, I think our libraries would be interested in that.
Yeah, our library is like pretty much anything where they don't have to do the work. So, if you guys had templates and then I could drop in screenshots and then hand them over to the libraries, then they love that.
How many people here use Canva? You can either like do the little raise your hand thing or just put it in the chat if you use Canva. Click does. If you don't know what Canva is, you can also say that in the chat. Okay, Jonathan hasn't heard of Canva. We don't, but I think I know what it is. Okay. Well, Cal raised her hand. Yes. Cal knows what Canva is. Kristen has used it minimally. Well, my friends, let me tell you about Canva. So Canva is it's a online graphic design tool. It's like completely online. Cal has linked it in the chat. You don't need really any graphic design background or knowledge to use Canva, which is why it's amazing. And coming from someone who used to be a graphic designer, I really appreciated having access to it because I could still make things look really nice without having to like make do with Microsoft Publisher or whatever. And libraries can apply for a free pro account with Canva with the nonprofit status. So you can get like the free account does a lot on its own, but if you apply for that nonprofit status, hey, yeah, click apply for that nonprofit status because then you'll get all that for free. You'll get like all the pro features, all the fancy icons and everything. You don't have to pay for it. Yeah, which is I feel guilty because I still have my account that I use. Like I started like several years ago, and it's still free, and they've never checked to see if I still work for a library. So, but it's all good. So yeah, I highly recommend that. The reason I'm bringing up Canva is because, thank you, Carol. She's amazing. She linked that nonprofits link in the chat. So that's where you can apply for the free Canva. We brought Canva up because we use it all the time at Bywater to design our stuff. And what we could do is we could make the Canva templates available. And then that way, if you have your own account, you could copy that template to your account and just edit it, put in your own logo and graphics and everything.
Yeah, that's what we're leaning towards. And I just saw like Kristen in the comments mentioned something geared towards social media. The great part about Canva is that it already resizes things. So we could have a Facebook template, a Twitter template, an Instagram template, all the templates, and you don't have to do anything, just download it and then put it into that platform, and it's already sized and the best resolution for it. So it's really nice for that.
Yeah, thank you, Cal. Yeah, so that's why we brought that up. Because if you all are interested in some sort of like, yeah, social media templates or bookmark templates, we can totally get you set up. Anyone have any questions about Canva? How you could use it for libraries? I know Cal could probably answer a lot of questions. All right, well, cool. I'm glad that we got to share something that might be new and useful for you today. That's pretty cool. But if you do have any questions about it, just let us know. I mean, it's not Aspen stuff, but I'm sure we could help you anyway with Canva. It's so easy to use though. It really is. So then maybe we'll work on some basic template stuff that we can share out with all of our partners. And you all will have a head start because you'll have already made Canva accounts and you'll be experts. So the next section, oh my gosh, I feel like I've been talking for 1,000 years. It's upcoming conferences. So I'm going to turn it over to the people who are going to talk about that.
I can start talking about that. I just linked 2 of the upcoming conferences that are going to be in September. If you want to see Mark live in person, he is going to be at CalCon. So I wanted to put that one in there. That's in Westminster, Colorado, and I linked information on that, but we'll have like Bywater staff there. I don't know if there's anything special like you're planning, or are you just going to be like around or in the booth, Mark?
No, I'll be there just
hanging,
having fun, seeing actual people and like looking to have people corner me into conversations. So
awesome. And then the other one is the Koha US. We touched on this a little bit the last Aspen gathering, but we have some more information now. So it's still going to be in person in McKinney, Texas, but they also are offering a virtual component. The virtual component is free to attend online. So if you were interested in attending any of those sessions, I think like if you are able to make some sort of donation, they will take that happily, but otherwise it's free to attend online. I put the conference schedule in there. There's also going to be 2, even though it's Koha US, it's more just about open source solutions in general, celebration of like the open source community, and like really good information. So even if you're not on Koha, that's not a problem at all. It's just like a great networking, and again, just like more for open source in general. But there are going to be 2 Aspen Discovery sessions. So there's one on Tuesday, and that's going to be actually Sam Passy at Uinta. He's going to be talking about that, and a lot of he's going to talk about third-party integration, but he's like really big into local history resources. So if you want to expand your like genealogy or archives or anything like that, he's going to be talking about. He's the expert on that in Aspen. Like they've done some really great things with scanning all their yearbooks in the town, making their special collections more readily available. So if you're interested in that, definitely attend. And then again, you get another chance to see Mark. He's going to be Wednesday, and this one's going to be great. It's with Erica from Benbrook Public Library in Texas, and I got to speak with her the other day, and she's very lovely, and she's very outgoing and has very bubbly, and definitely like loves open source, so I'm very excited to see her speak. But they're gonna be talking about their experience migrating to open source and what's been going on since they've implemented Koha and Aspen with their community. So I'm just excited to hear. I love hearing from like partners, like what their experiences were. The other neat thing that they're going to have on site, and I think Jesse, there's a thunderstorm, sorry. Jesse is going to maybe do like a live demo too while she's there on site. We have an open source observatory. So what McKinney Library is doing is they're setting up a full open source library. So they're going to have an ILS, they're going to have Aspen Discovery, they're going to have a self-checkout, return, basically an immersive like open source experience setup, which is really cool. So it'll be hands-on, but we're gonna get like a little, probably like Facebook Live experience. So even if you can't be in Texas, you can see what it's like to have a fully open source library. So we're very excited about that. Any questions on conferences or those two specifically coming up? Mark Noble Tour 2021.
And just to be, so the Koha US, even if you're not a Koha library, you are welcome to come to that. So yeah, I get to see people.
I think that open source observatory sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like I don't know, like one of those interactive museums where you go and like do stuff and like something's library stuff. An open source library playground. I love it. All right. Well, does anyone, I guess we have like 3 minutes. Time flies. Does anyone have any questions or like anything at all that they want to just put out into the universe?
I just want to say thanks for the install script and the update script. And I know that most of this meeting was about public facing things. And I know that those are behind the scenes things, but I feel like those were like 2 big positive steps forward for Aspen. And they were really cool to see. And I appreciate that they exist. So anyone that helped make that happen, thank you.
Glad those are working. I want to drop one more link into the chat. So I've got a Calendly link now for anybody that needs time with me to schedule time for whatever purpose, brainstorm on an issue or look at a bug or whatever. Like whatever you need, feel free to schedule some time.
Yes, Mark is in demand. So get on that Calendly link in the chat and book them while you can. I mean, just think of the possibilities, people. Like, just Mark is all yours for 20 minutes. What can you do with that time? So many Aspen things. So, all right. Anything from anyone before we move on with our day? It's great. I just love hearing everyone's feedback and ideas and experiences. So it's really great. So thank you everyone for coming, and hopefully we'll see you again next week for Aspen updates in an instant. And otherwise we'll see you next month.